How's it going, everybody? This is your Astrology Horoscope for Friday, March 8th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Hope you guys are having a great week. Happy Friday. It's good to be here with all of you. Sorry if I make this a little quicker than usual. I have a family emergency I got to tend to. I just got a phone call, so I'm doing this as quick as I can. And I'm glad to be here. So, this moon in Aquarius is finally making its square to Uranus. So, Uranus is positing the moon, Uranus is positing Mars. Today's the day where we're going to definitely see some massive changes in our reality, and it's going to, we've seen it build up all week. We've definitely seen crazy things happening in the media, in the outer world, and everything going on. It's pretty wild. So, but definitely today, I just got a phone call here personally where it's like, got to make moves really quickly, got to adapt really, really smoothly, right? As quickly as things can change on a dime with all this Aquarian energy, squaring over to Uranus with Uranus dispositing the moon and Mars. Things can change really rapidly, and it can be very unexpected. Things can happen very fast, unexpectedly, in good ways and in bad ways. That can also lead to good things, in unexpected ways, it doesn't matter what it is. It just is, where we're being pushed to make changes in our lives. And definitely with all this Pisces energy as well here, it's like, Pisces is all about adaptability. The mutable signs are all about adapting and being able to change and morph with how things are shifting and changing. So that's been the conversation all week, and it's like, this is the moon's in its balsamic phase. So there could be definitely some very intense, deep emotions that can pop up, that can really, be hard to face, but also necessary. And it's like, we want to just keep adapting and keep flowing and not resisting the change. It's hard with these fixed signs. It's been the same kind of themes throughout the week. We've had a steady kind of build up to this. So let's just be fair about that. As much as things have changed and as quickly as things are going to change, especially starting today, going into the weekend, and after the moon squares Uranus here, then the Mars will start to move to 19 degrees in the next few days, and the next day or two, and make its square through the weekend. So this moon can definitely be highlighting things that are starting to really feel like, wow, like things could really just change on a dime here. And when Mars does square Uranus, that's when the trigger points are really going to happen. We can start feeling emotionally, almost intuitively, like, wow, like things can really change here, and it's good. Like, it could be a very positive thing. It can lead to positive places, but it's definitely hard to let go at this moment, but with all these Pisces placements, we want to be able to adapt as smoothly and as much as we can. This Mercury is getting ready to make its conjunction here. In Pisces, it's going to, we're really feeling extra sensitive right now. So Mercury and Neptune will conjunct here, 27 degrees. And this is when the message is becoming clear. Spiritually, like there's this big spiritual message coming through here. And whatever sorts of things we have to let go of, wherever we're experiencing loss in our lives at this moment, where we feel like we've lost, it's really to get us to the next best place, and as this Mercury is conjuncting Neptune, the moon is going to square Venus. So there can also be this kind of, love energy that's happening around this Mercury square Neptune, or Mercury-Neptune conjunction. So, when the moon conjuncts Venus like this, there's always this positive energy where our emotions and our values are connected, in a very powerful way. And we can feel more connected and harmonious in our values and our relationships and the people that we're connected to, and definitely how we're communicating with people on a spiritual level today. There could be some very high frequency communication, almost psychic energy just flowing through us. Our dreams are going to reach a peak tonight, last night going into today, into tomorrow. It seems like our dreams can overlap into our reality, and I definitely think it's connected to our values and our feelings about the people we're connected to, and definitely it's like, also, it's like, hey, there may be shifts and changes and people that you were connected to where the connection was just not there, with this Mars and Moon squaring Uranus, So I think if there is challenges that definitely seem to pop up out of nowhere, and, I think they can get resolved, pretty quickly throughout the day, but as long as we're able to listen to one another and be compassionate, I think this Mercury-Neptune conjunction is all about compassion, especially with this Moon-Venus conjunction. It's like, how can we be compassionate and understand other people's values and understand people's positions and understand that, we're all a part of one thing and we're all connected from the same source and we're all different, we're all unique, When we're in Aquarius, it's not just about everybody being the same and thinking the same, and it's all about like individuation and expressing your own true individuality, but also like supporting others to express their own individuality. Like this is a moment where spiritually we're vibrating very high with this Mercury-Neptune conjunction and the Sun in Pisces, but at the same time, like we're really feeling this like energy to really just fucking break through the wall and break through where, there have been blocks. And, this Mars getting ready to square Uranus is definitely going to help us tear down some walls here. And the walls are coming down. I think our vulnerability is at its highest. We're feeling the most vulnerable. We definitely can get too far out. So if we're feeling too far out, we need to do what we can to stay grounded. But at the same time, it's like, we are ready to kind of break free and liberate and find a new path and trudge a new path and, really challenge the status quo and really break through the mold and break through the norm. And if, you've been stuck in quote unquote normal, now's the time to really plow through that, So we really want to keep our channels open. This has been building for the past couple weeks here. So now is the moment right before this new moon in Pisces where we're getting the message from a higher place. And we're ready to break through and break down the walls and penetrate, anything that's kind of held us in our place where we just are now ready to like, this doesn't do me any good to just remain stuck here. This Mars wants us to really try new things, break free. If there's been situations that are holding you back, this is where we're going to see those dissolve, at the same time, and definitely dissolve through words, right? So, I think we don't want to be stuck, and I think today we're ready to really fall into a new paradigm, right? Create a new paradigm. This is kind of forcing the situation. This Mars square Uranus is definitely forcing a situation, and things can happen very quickly, very fast. And, it can get a little overwhelming, this Mars, square Uranus with this Mercury Neptune conjunction, it can feel pretty overwhelming. But at the same time, it's all about, being willing to break free and liberate yourself from anything where you've been stuck in anything of the status quo that, has been trying to hold you down and limit you and govern you and, strip away your individuality. Because that's the dark side of Aquarius is, it's like, if you don't think like us, you can't sit with us, right? If you don't put this into your body, then you should be cast away from society forever. That's the shadow of Aquarius, right? The light side of Aquarius is that we are all unified. We all come from the same source. We're all connected and we're all unique. We all have our own values and our own views to express, And with this Moon-Venus conjunction today, while this Mercury-Neptune, I feel like there can be a lot of love energy coming through, from a higher place, at the highest frequencies. We're talking about Aquarius and Pisces, the two last signs of the zodiac. So, there could be a lot of love energy coming through, a lot of compassion and a lot of understanding and a lot of common ground that can be found through difficulty, because as this is happening, this Mars square Uranus, the moon squaring Uranus today when we're coming into Friday, like there's definitely some challenges. But by the time we get through the moon squaring Uranus today, it's going to conjunct Venus, and the Mercury-Neptune conjunction is going to happen at the same time. So with the difficulties that can come up and the challenges that can come up, finding that compassionate place within you and the understanding and the willingness to be vulnerable and have the conversation is where we want to direct our energy. So, yeah, we got the Ten of Pentacles. So, this is very much Moon-Venus conjunction, right? I mean, we're talking about pentacles. This is very much Venus energy. So, I mean, this can be where we can see the value in our connectedness, not just to our friends and the people we work with or the people that we're creating with, our family, right? Like the deep roots of our DNA. Aquarius and Pluto, I think, get to the heart of our DNA and our genetics and our genetic code. I feel like today with some of the challenges that can come up, it can lead us to a place of contemplation, of going to a very deep place of like, wow, like, you know what? You got to see the value of where you came from, because I think it's easy in our society to really, want to break free from, especially in Western culture, it's like, oh, you got to break free from where you came from, right? And start your own thing, which is great. But at the same time, it's like you never want to forget where you came from. And that's what Ten of Pentacles always reminds me of, is never forget where you come from, and that we all come from an umbilical cord, right? Like we all came from a womb. And seeing the value of the line of the genetic code that we come from is very valuable, especially in moments like these where we could feel somewhat disconnected and, with all these squares to Uranus, like the connections can be, a little rattled and shaken up. It can be easy to kind of lose touch with that and forget about those things and, live in your own world, right? I live in LA, so it's like most people in LA aren't even from LA, and they come to LA, and they forget where they come from, right? It's a common thing, then one day you wake up 10 years later and it's like, wow, like, I miss my family. I miss this. I miss my home. Like what? I've been stuck, Never forget where you come from. And I think this Mercury-Neptune conjunction, we can be thinking about all things right now. And it can be overwhelming, but at the same time, if you're remaining in a place of pure love, oneness, and I'm not saying this out of some spiritual garbage. I'm just looking at the astrology. Like, when we're talking about Aquarius and Pisces, it is about oneness, and unity and seeing the good in everything, but also having discernment, with Neptune so strong right now. You want to discern what is fact or fiction. There can definitely be some fibs going on. So, especially in the media and especially on your social media, you want to take things with a grain of salt and discern wisely what is good for you, what serves you, and what does not. This is a moment where, like, paths are forging in multiple directions, and we don't want to be afraid to take a new path if we're feeling called to do that. And I definitely think with this Mercury-Neptune conjunction, it's like, wow, like we can see how things have changed so much in our world and our personal lives, and we can see that now we just have to like go with it and move with it and accept it. It's been hard to accept for a lot of people. If you've been awake for a long time and you've been seeing things play out, you're pretty used to this feeling of, being detached and removed from reality. So, if whatever feelings are coming up today and thoughts that are coming up today where you're feeling a little disconnected, you want to observe them. Try to observe your thoughts as much as you can and not attach to the overwhelming emotion that these thoughts can bring. So Pisces in the 12th house and Neptune is all about compassion and understanding and acceptance, surrender. Surrender is an art. It's an art form. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to just be outside your ego and surrender yourself to the moment for the greater good, right? And to be of service of other people and to, give selfless service to others, to the world, to God, whatever your God is, whatever your higher power is, we're feeling very connected. And definitely keep track of your dream states, because they're giving you everything you need at this moment. And I think for the next few days, we'll notice how our dream states are overlapping into our physical world. And that's where the highest spiritual messages are coming through. Thank you all so much for being here. I got to go. I got to tend to some family stuff going on. So if you're new here, subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, go to my Instagram, go to my Spotify. If you want to book a reading with me, the link to my booking website is in the description of this video, along with all the links to all my platforms. So I appreciate every single one of you, and have a wonderful day. This has kind of been the day we've been building up to the past 2 weeks. And then once we get through this and the message comes through and we're ready to break through these walls, we're going to come into a new moon this weekend and kind of hit the refresh button and get some rest this weekend as well with this new moon, because we're going to need it going into Aries season. So have a wonderful Friday, and I will see you all for the weekend. Peace out.